Welcome back to another video. My name is Dawson Haley, and if you want to learn how to make $1,000 per day as a teenager, make sure you watch this video to the very end so you don't miss anything. I actually didn't make my first $1,000 in a day until I was 20 years old, and I am still 20 years old. But if you listen to the knowledge that I'm gonna give you throughout this video and you implement it throughout your life and throughout your entrepreneurial journey, you can absolutely learn how to make $1,000 a day as a teenager. The first step is gonna be starting a business. This is how you're gonna get to that profit margin. You're not gonna make $1,000 a day clocking in your 9 to 5 at Burger King, King Soopers. You know, that may be good for you at a certain time, but to hit this 1K a day, you're gonna have to start a business. You really have two different options. One's a service business, one is a product business. I would really recommend going the service-based business route, especially if you're a beginner. Reason being, it is a lot easier than a product-based business. A product business is gonna have a lot of variables to it to succeed, versus a service-based business will not have nearly as many variables. The services right now, and you may be asking, like, services, what do you mean? So what I mean is like home services, which is what I do. I do residential remodels, but it could be anything from lawn mowing, gutter cleaning, pressure washing driveways, doing drywall, painting, texturing, flooring, any of the different plumbing stuff, and any of these different home services that you can think about. I was talking to a plumber the other day that he was saying the going rate for plumbers right now is $500 an hour. That is actually insane. Granted, it takes a long time to get your plumber's license and everything, but you can literally hit your 1K a day in 2 hours as a plumber right now. These services are so in demand with so few people who actually want to do the work. So if you put in, I'd say if you don't have a skill, you know, you're like, well, I don't have a skill really. I don't have something that I know how to do well that, like, I feel like people would really pay me to do. Go and learn under someone for 1 year. That's what I did. I learned under someone the construction basics for only 1 year before I went off and did it by myself. And that's exactly what you need to do. If you're serious about making $1,000 a day as a teenager, then go learn it. Go work construction, go work a certain trade, get really good at it. Go work under someone who owns a lawn mowing business. Go work under someone who owns a gutter cleaning business. Learn the ins and outs of the business, learn how to get the job done, and then you can start up your own company. Don't go into it if you don't know what you're talking about, because your knowledge in the game is what's gonna take you the furthest. So I would definitely recommend going service. It will be the most easy. If you wanna go product, that's okay. It just will be a lot harder 99% of the time because there's so many other variables. You gotta do more marketing, more research, more testing. You may have to start 25 different online companies before you have one that succeeds. You may have to start 100 before you have that one. It's really just trying, failing, you know, testing out, pivoting. There's just so many different variables that go into it. You can absolutely try it. It may take higher capital because you may have to fail so many times that you may be investing a lot of money. But you can absolutely make 1K a day and a lot higher profit margins in product-based businesses as you could in a service-based business. But I do think that service-based business is the way to go for beginners. But throughout this video, I will cover both of the different types of businesses and how you can get started within them. Okay, I got a little whiteboard here where I wrote down the most important steps to starting your first business. This is gonna apply to service-based businesses and product businesses. So first, we got the idea and name. This is self-explanatory. You come up with the idea, you come up with the name, check availability for the name, make sure that no one else has it. A lot of times that goes by the state. Then from there, you know, you gotta make your logo. What do you want it to look like? You gotta design your website. This is also something that can be done at the end of all of this. You don't necessarily have to do it and spend money right there. As far as logos, I would recommend going to Fiverr or a freelance website like that. There's lots of designers that are happy to help and happy to make logos for a very affordable cost, and they're really great. Just do your research, find someone good. For websites, there's really two different ones that I would recommend. That would be Shopify and Squarespace. While you can use either for different purposes, what I would personally recommend with my experience is that for a product business, absolutely use Shopify. And for a service business, I would most likely recommend using Squarespace because it's a lot better about showcasing your work versus Shopify is way better when you have a product and you have inventory and you're selling products online. Yeah, and then third would be file your LLC. An LLC is a limited liability corporation. So what this is gonna do for your business, for you and your business, is it's gonna separate yourself from your business. Basically, it will protect you. When you have an LLC for your business, we could go really in depth for this, but I'm not gonna do that. Basically, when you have an LLC for your business, someone can't sue your personal belongings. When your business did something and they're suing your business, all they can really sue you for is your business's assets. They can't sue you personally and your assets. So it protects your business and it is an absolute must. There's a lot of other different business structures as well that you can look into and possibly talk to a certified tax expert to see which may be best for your specific company, but most likely you're going to be wanting to file an LLC. You can do this at yourstate.gov. So for Colorado, it's co.gov. You don't want to go anywhere else. Don't hire another company to do it. It's super easy. You can do it quickly. It does cost a little bit of money. I don't remember quite how much, but I think around $50 if I'm correct. After that, you're gonna file an EIN number with the same state.gov. You're gonna file the EIN number. What this is gonna do is basically act as your social security, but for your business. They're very similar in that way. And the only reason that you really have to do this is to open up the business bank account, which is the next step. You're gonna have to have a business bank account. You technically don't have to, but like you have to, you know what I mean? Like basically having your own business bank account is gonna separate your business expenses from all of your personal expenses. This is gonna make it way easier to do taxes at the end of the year because you don't have to pick through certain things. And so if you're paying a tax expert, you're gonna be paying them a lot more hours if you don't have a business bank account. It's just way more professional, it's way easier. Make sure you get a business bank account. And the way you're gonna do that is by first getting your EIN number. Once you have your EIN number, you're gonna take that and all of your other business information over to a bank to open the business bank account. There's gonna be a lot of banks that you're not gonna be able to open a business bank account with because they're gonna have really high standards. Maybe it's a certain amount of deposit. It's a certain deposit amount that you would have to put in to even open it that you may not have. That was the instance for me. I had to, kind of search for different companies, different banks to find one that would suit what I was looking for at that time. So these are really the first steps that you want to do. After you do all this, you are set up to start business. As far as you may need a license for whatever you're doing. You definitely want to look into that. But these are the first steps. Okay, after you completed everything in the last clip that we just talked about, now you're ready to actually start your business and get going. And here on the whiteboard, I have the steps written down for a service business and a product business from that point. We'll start with the service business. For the service business, all you need to do from there is get the tools, get the gear, whatever you need to actually operate and run the business. If it's a lawn mowing business, okay, you need a lawnmower. If it's a painting business, okay, you need ladders. You need some way to haul around those ladders from job to job. You need rollers, you need sandpaper, you need tape, you need caulking, you need plastic, all the different things that you need for painting. You gotta get everything that you need, right? Okay, and then from there, and you already have your website and everything, you're gonna go market it. There's a lot of different options you can do for the service business as far as marketing. One that I would throw out there off the bat that is gonna be free is Nextdoor app. It's an app where you see your neighbors and your whole neighborhood is able to make posts on there, and they post about what contractors are good, what was bad. And it's not all about contractors, you know, they post about just normal day-to-day stuff like, hey, I lost my dog, someone found it. Things like that. But posting on there is going to be free. As far as Nextdoor, don't make a business account. You can, if you want to, make a personal account. If you make the business account, they're gonna make you pay for ads, versus the personal account, you can just post whenever you want and say the same exact thing. I would mention if you're just getting started, I would just scan Nextdoor every day. There's gonna be people posting like, hey, I need this done. I need this done. Maybe it's not even something that your company like specifically does, but if it's like something you know how to do and you're just getting going and need work, that's absolutely something that you can do. So Nextdoor is a great place to start. I would also get your Facebook page up and going. For the service-based businesses, there's not a ton of younger people that are going to be paying for your services. So you got to take that into consideration when doing your marketing on social media. But Facebook is definitely a really big one. Definitely capitalize on that. That will be huge for you. One that I have used that really brings in most of my business, or did before I had word of mouth, was Google Local Service Ads. So this is going to be a minimum of $500 per month. It is going to be a lot of money, but it is definitely worth it. It just brought me a ton of calls. So it will absolutely pay itself off if you are charging the right amount. But it is a really big upfront investment, so it may not be for you if you don't kind of have that extra little bit of cash to play around with in the beginning. But if you get to the point where you do have that extra cash laying around and you need more jobs coming in, more jobs flowing, that is absolutely a great way to do it. I've had a lot of success with that. And then from there, you got to just test. It could be something that your marketing's not right, or maybe it's you that's not right. Maybe you got to learn how to sell. Maybe you got to look at, okay, how do I communicate with customers when I'm speaking with them? Are there things that I can do? Are there ways I can be more professional? Hey, maybe if we got t-shirts with all of our branding on it, hey, is that what can make us work? You know, you got to look at, and this goes for both the product and the service. There's always going to be something that you can do better, you know, and if something's not working, you got to pivot. That's what business is about, is you got to pivot. You can't stand in one place. You got to figure out what it is going to take to make that business successful. So yeah, there's a lot of different free things you can post for service ads. Another thing for the service business, you want to do this, I didn't write this down on here, you'll want to do this for the product as well, but absolutely for the service, is set yourself up a Google business profile. This is going to take a bit of work of getting verified on there, but where people can look it up and your name is going to come up on there. It's going to show you on Google Maps. It's going to tell all about you, your hours, your pictures. You absolutely have to have this. Like, that's your identity. You got to be on Google. So actually, absolutely do that for both businesses, especially your service-based business from the start. That's pretty much all for service. Over here with product, you got to find out where to get your product. So you got to find your manufacturer. There's a few different ways to do this. People are really stingy with their manufacturers. You're not really going to find someone who's just going to give you a list of, oh yeah, these are the manufacturers I've used that are just amazing. Go ahead and use them. You'll find that people will not share that information, and it is really hard to find good manufacturers. As far as a little bit of cheaper products, I mean, people have had success with all types of products, but you can absolutely use sites like Alibaba. And what's the other one? There's one just like that. Alibaba, and I'm not sure, but sites like Alibaba. So actually, when you search on Alibaba, say you search t-shirt, if you're wanting to start a clothing brand, there's gonna be a ton of different postings for t-shirts, and if you click on each one, those are all manufacturers posting them. So what I would do is I would reach out to a manufacturer on Alibaba and instantly get their WhatsApp number. It'll be a lot easier to communicate with them, and you got to do some trial and error talking with manufacturers. You got to figure out, hey, what country do I want to source this from? There's going to be a huge price difference. How are they treating me? Will they give me a free sample, or will I have to pay a ton for it? You know, you will over time be able to see who's a good manufacturer and who isn't a good manufacturer. So it's going to take a lot of testing to find the one that is right for you. Never order your product in bulk without seeing it first. Don't ever do that. You got to get samples ordered in. Hopefully they'll give it to you for free if they're like a really quality manufacturer. They should. You may have to pay for it though. So always pay for it first. Test it for a long time. Dog's barking out there. See how you like it. Make sure it's something you really want to invest your money in. And definitely don't buy bulk before you see success yet. Because if you buy 2,000 phone cases, or 500 phone cases in bulk, and then you figure out no one wants this phone case, it sucks, and then you're screwed over. You just got 500 phone cases for nothing. So, order a really small at first, maybe say, hey, you get the sample. Hey, I really like it. Hey, can you guys do a MOQ, which is gonna be minimum order quantity of 10. So you get 10, you do it. You sell the 10 out in 2 days, and you're like, okay, this product is showing potential. So now I'm gonna invest a little bit more, and a little more, and then a little more. And you keep doing that. And once you really see the positive feedback, that's when you can go all in. And if you're not seeing the positive feedback, that's where you just test. Try something else out. Maybe it's just not a good product. Maybe you gotta do something else. In both of the businesses, and more so the product, like I was saying, how there's more variables, you're gonna have to test so much. So make sure you don't quit. You can quit on that specific product, but don't give up too early, because you might be just one more try away from your successful venture. I would really recommend not doing drop shipping. This is something that's really glorified, at least it was in the past, and I know it still kind of is. If you're a really young teenager and this just isn't you want to just try drop shipping, go ahead and do it. You may find short-term success. A lot of people do, but a lot of times with drop shipping, you're not going to find the long-term success, because a lot of times with drop shipping, basically how it works is you find your manufacturer, say they're from China. Okay, now they got the inventory from you. When you have a customer purchase a product, they're gonna ship it directly to the customer without you having to deal with any product. Sounds great in theory, right? But a lot of times that shipping is gonna take 3 weeks, over a month, 2 months to even get to the customer. Then that's gonna lead to the customer being very unhappy. They're gonna go leave you a bad review, and your company is gonna tank from there, because it's gonna repeat the same cycle. Drop shipping, I would not recommend it. If you're really serious about this, do it the right way, get it done right. And then, yeah, that's gonna be all for product. And I also had just a quick thought, especially for the service-based business, when you're gonna be dealing with people in person all the time. It is something that I deal with all the time, and that is feeling like, hey, maybe I'm not old enough, maybe I'm not experienced enough. And I run into that feeling all the time where I'm like, I get that negative self-talk where it's like, man, can I really be doing this, And I just always got to reinforce myself and say, hey, you can do this. Yeah, you're young, but I proved to myself in and out, I have these days all the time, and I do this. I've done this. I made this happen. You can absolutely make it happen. Don't talk yourself out of it. Don't say you're too young. There will be people who will look at you and say, you're too young. I'm not going to listen to you. I'm not going to hire you. But you just can't let that affect you in the long term. You got to keep moving forward and get it done. And you absolutely see those 1K days. All right, that was mostly what I had for you guys today. I just kind of wanted to go over some of the basics to get you guys started. And if you have any questions, absolutely let me know. If you want me to make a video on a certain topic about business, let me know. Or if you want to talk to me personally, absolutely reach out. I do want to let you know that right now I am still accepting students for my coaching. I do life coaching as well as business coaching. I will link down the application below to make sure we are a good fit. But if you are interested in the coaching, let's say business coaching, for example, you will absolutely make your money back. It will have a great ROI. You'll be able to spend time with me, even if it is virtually, and we'll walk through these different issues, pivot together, and I'll help you hit those 1K days and start successful businesses. So I'd love to see you there. I'd love to work with you and be a part of your journey. But thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. I also hope you guys did see a little bit of a improvement in the quality in the camera. I picked up a lot of different gear. Although this was a pretty basic video, I kind of just sat here and talked. Hopefully you did see a little bit improvement in quality. I got the Sony a7C along with the Tamron 1728 lens, and then a lot of other just different accessories. So I definitely really upgraded my setup, and I'm just super excited to keep making content and getting better, growing, because I really just want to be able to teach and help other people, and I'm having a lot of fun with this. So hopefully over this next year I can really just get better at the craft, create better content, and really be able to help you guys out. But thank you guys, I really appreciate it. I'll see you in the next one.